Today's show is sponsored by Adventures Unlimited Press. Take your mind on a literary journey and go to adventuresunlimitedpress.com to purchase books from our famed experts right here on Truth Be Told. That's adventuresunlimitedpress.com.
What's your thoughts on government cover-ups or covert societies attempting to control humanity? Do you believe in ancient astronauts, intergalactic communication, or extraterrestrial visitations? Ever had an experience with disembodied spirits or the paranormal universe? Are these subjects fact or fiction? Each week, Tony and Eddie explore these unbelievable realities and beyond. Exclusively on Truth Be Told.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie, where we believe an experience becomes truth. I'm your host, Tony Sweet, and joining me now in studio is Eddie Connor.
Thank you, Tony, and hi, everybody. Well, Tony and I believe there's nothing more important than self-appreciation and, of course, self-love. And today, we're going deep into the world of tantric sex to learn more about what it really is and how it's connected to self-love.
Today, we're joined in studio with Tantra and self-love coach Lillie Claire Love. Lillie has worked as an energy healer with EFT and Reiki. She is also a primal core yoga instructor and life coach.
Lillie intends to give other women permission to own their own sensuality, sexuality, beauty, and power. She aims to do her part in healing the relationship between men and women through tantric practices, sensual healing, and, of course, sacred relationship coaching.
I know I'm going to walk away from this show a happier and educated person.
I think you will be more educated. Lillie has online courses and local events that everyone can take part in, but today we're fortunate enough to have her right here in person with Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our esteemed guest and friend, Lillie Claire Love. Yay!
Yay, welcome, welcome. Wow. First of all, Eddie and I know we're in love because we're in love with love.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
You're gorgeous.
Thank you.
And, we both have accents, and you have a little accent yourself.
I do have an accent.
And you're from?
I'm from Australia.
What part?
I grew up in Darwin. It's the very north center of Australia. It's kind of away from everything else. It's about an hour flight from Bali.
Oh, wow.
So it's really hot. It's an interesting place. We've got it's kind of like the outback mixed with the sea, mixed with the city.
Okay. I was just watching a video on Ellen DeGeneres with Chris Hemsworth and his wife, and they were saying that they moved away from the United States to go back home to Australia. And then they showed a spider on his wall as big as my hand. A huntsman spider.
Huntsman, yeah.
And its fangs were as big as its legs. And then there was a 15-foot snake coming out of the garden.
You would have lost me
Comes
right
and
there.
visits every day. And then there was another one that had gotten into the house and wrapped around a bar stool.
I would have
That's,
moved.
that's exactly what it's like. I mean, not in kind of all parts of Australia, like Sydney, but definitely where I grew up. I went camping a lot. I grew up in the bush with a lot of indigenous people as well.
Oh, that's kind of
so we would hunt. We would cook turtle and eat.
I've had turtle.
Snake.
Yeah.
Crocodile.
We got snapping turtle.
Tastes like chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had snapping turtle soup.
Yeah, my grandma used to make that too.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
I haven't had it in a long time. I was like a dirty little bush kid.
I love that though. See, and that's
Tom
one of
girl.
the things. Maybe that's one of the extra effervescent things about your energy, meaning you have that groundedness in there, and that sort of connection to the earth.
I'm very connected to the earth and to nature. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can just feel it, not just in your eyes and your face, but it sort of comes off of your body. It literally radiates light.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, so
I was going to say, I think in your type of work, you'd have to be too.
Yeah.
I mean, really pretty grounded.
I mean, I've had to go on a journey to get re-grounded.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially living in L.A.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I went on my own personal journey. I was ungrounded for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you think a lot of healers go through that though, so that when we get grounded again and anchored back into our core essence, then we can relate better to the lovely people that we get to work with.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's so important in this work to have kind of a container that you can allow other people's stuff to come up.
That's
and
right.
hold space for that and not take it on yourself.
Now, that was a hard one for me.
Yeah.
And because givers and healers have a tendency to just take anyway. I mean, to receive people's energy. I can remember being a kid and thinking, if I could just take my mom's pain away, if I could take my dad's rage away, if I could take these things away, then we'd have balance in our household. I didn't understand, though, that that's a legitimate thing where you end up carrying people's stuff.
Right.
And so you went through the period where you were sort of ungrounded, and then you came back into your grounding, and then you're able to unconditionally help other people get back to their balance.
Was there someone that helped you through that? Was there a healer that maybe mentored you?
There is a lot. My Tantra teacher is Sam Isadora.
Oh,
That's a great name.
She's a very powerful woman. And she, again, herself went through her own kind of healing journey where she was at rock bottom and had to find her way through yoga and Tantra. So she's one of my main mentors. But there's so many people that have been in my life that are just angels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's a beautiful community.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm very, very blessed.
Awesome. So help us understand, because I'm naive. This is uneducated. Yeah, that'll be our stage names. Welcome to the stage. We're both naive about this. So help us understand, and for the audience too, exactly what you feel is the biggest misconception with Tantra, and then help us understand the difference between like tantric sex versus the word Tantra.
Okay. I guess the biggest misconception about Tantra is that it's just about sex.
Yeah.
And about being able to have really long sex.
Sting,
Yeah,
sting, and
sting.
trivy.
And although that can be a benefit of it, it's not all of it. Tantra basically is the practice and the path of total acceptance, of awakening, of becoming present in your life.
Wow.
Awakening to your senses and your physicality. A lot of, I think, spiritual paths are about this kind of transcending, transcending the physical, transcending desire, wanting to move up the chakras and be kind of in the ethereal realm only. But we're here in physical bodies, and we get to experience so much amazing things and connection and touch through our senses, being in a physical body. And so Tantra is really about everything is divine.
Yeah.
So Tantra, when I hear Tantra, I immediately put sex after it. So Tantra is separate. It's just that's just an add-on.
Yeah. Tantra includes everything.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
sex is a part of life.
Right.
But sex is a huge part of life. We have to have sex to create life.
You hear that, Eddie?
Don't tell Rosie and Minnie.
But,
You're in the same boat as me.
I know.
Isn't it amazing? Like, we literally have to have sex and we can create another human being.
Yeah.
So this sexual energy is also able to create anything we like in our life. It's power.
So would you say, I'm going to paraphrase, but would you say in essence, Tantra is the divine and connecting to that divine? So it could be a spirituality or a spiritual practice, or some people in pop culture might even say religion, but without the stigma that goes along with religion.
Yeah, well, I think religion is when we have a lot of attachment and, bog it down with dogma and wrong and right and good and bad, right?
Yeah.
And Tantra really isn't that at all, because it's saying there is no wrong or right, there is no good or bad. There's total you can learn to accept everything that is in your life, everything that is going on in the world. It doesn't mean that we don't want things to be different, but if we're in resistance to anything, then it just creates more of the same, more of what we don't want. So having that acceptance allows things to kind of unravel naturally.
In every area of our lives,
In
right?
every area of our life.
And I love whenever you talk about resistance. When I think of the word resistance, I think of, as a intuitive for years, there's two kinds of people. There's the people who are letting it in. They're the people who are keeping it out. But when somebody has tremendous resistance, they're letting it in and pushing it out at the same time. It's like they're driving a car with the gas and the brake on, trying to go 120 miles an hour, but they're just going in circles, and it's painful for them.
Yeah, that's the suffering that's really created.
And Tantra, being in connection to the divine, being aligned with the divine, child, then you're letting go of that resistance so you can allow that energy to come to you and through you in all areas of your life. So, for example, if we were sitting in, like we were in Malibu this morning, not me and Tony.
He wouldn't take me. He's ashamed to be seen in public.
That's not what it is. It's totally not what it is. I'll tell you later. If we're sitting on the beach and we're having breakfast, being in connection to the divine could be everything from appreciating the company you're with, to the food you're eating, to your feet being in the sand as opposed to your shoes, and the way the breeze is blowing. And when you're in touch that way, I would assume that your intimacy, whether it's with yourself or a partner, is going to have that kind of divine alignment too.
You're so smart.
Yeah, well, I'm just picking it up off of you. So who is easier to... Which gender is easiest to get into the connection to the divine? Would it be women because they have that beautiful feminine energy, which is the more spiritual part, I think of it as, or is it the male?
It's difficult because, we are all individuals and we all have feminine and masculine in us.
Especially Eddie.
The feminine energy, and so it doesn't just mean a feminine woman. The feminine is really the creative, the flowing part, the surrender, the trust, and the masculine is more known as the container, the one who can hold space and protect, and also have focus and direction. So it's kind of like together they're perfect, because the banks of a river are kind of like the masculine, right? This container that holds the water and provides direction for the water, for the feminine, for the creative flow to move freely.
But make no mistake about it, it's the feminine that can go over the banks when they choose to and or create a new path.
Right. The feminine is powerful.
Yeah.
And how did you, when you first approached this or heard about it, what was your first thought? Because, there's some...
Great question.
I mean, there's a lot of people that hesitate, have like, I don't want to try that, or, it seems a little complicated.
I'm just open. I'm I don't know, a Libra astrologically, so I need balance. I always kind of can see both sides of everything, but I have to kind of come into the middle. So I don't know what my first thought was. It was probably something like, yes,
I'll try.
This feels good.
Yeah, and that was what I was going to ask. Was it a feeling? There was just a knowing and a feeling simultaneously that felt like I should check this out.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
And I've delved into all different kinds of things. I was born again Christian for 3 years. I walked away.
I ran.
But
Eddie and I are like,
but Jesus is cool. Jesus is just like another energy that's here to help us.
Yep.
But again, it was bogged down in all this good and bad, rotten, right? Dogma.
And judgment.
So much judgment and so much shame.
And by the way, well, go ahead.
I don't know. I was just saying that, I kind of have looked for different things and tried it on and taken from it, what was real to me, what felt good, and, leave the rest.
And by what felt good, I'm assuming you're talking about what your heart responded to, what your soul responded to, and what your body, mind, and spirit responded to.
Yeah, and if it comes along with shame and guilt and judgment,
cut
then
it loose.
That's not
a match.
No.
Well, actually, I want to ask you, because Eddie asked the question of men or women.
Yeah.
But men do you feel resist more than women?
See,
I could just see men resisting more because you know how men like kind
yeah.
of thing.
So actually, I don't feel that in the work that I do, and I don't work one-on-one with men individually unless I like kind of really know them.
Right.
Otherwise, I work with them as a couple, or I have an online program that I work with men. But men come to me a lot for this work.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean, they would. I mean, because you're this sparkling, radiant being of light that's packaged like this.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, they may have ulterior motives or whatever, but ultimately, I think they're attracted to the feminine. But you know, I did work with men at an event once, and it was set up as if this was a, like, you know, sensual, you know, come and hang out with the women. And so there was this big lineup, and you could see them like, oh, to their mates. But then they got there, and I did this meditation with them, breathing and eye gazing. And at the end, when I asked them to open their eyes, it was like a whole nother person there. And they were like, what was that? The ego just melted. And then they just opened up. They were like telling me everything, and like, you know, I have a wife, I love her, I'm attracted to her, but I don't have any libido, I don't have any desire, or you know, I have sex all the time, but I don't enjoy it. Yeah, like I'm not actually present and enjoying it. It's just some kind of routine that I go through. And
that's all about spirituality and emotionally and mentally. It's not. Right. It's not about the libido, right?
No. Yeah. That's all connected to our emotions, our beliefs, our, you know, how we're treating our body, our hormones. And, you know, for women, I work with women mainly, but a lot of women are in their heads. So there's a lot of thinking, which is like they're almost like they can't let go. They can't be in their body. They can't trust. They can't just surrender into that feminine because they feel unsafe. They don't feel like there's some masculine energy that can just hold them and contain them in all of their crazy colors. Yeah. Crazy, wonderful colors.
You know what I think's funny about the crazy, wonderful colors is women often, when they lock on to someone they want to be with, and I'm just basing this on being an intuitive for 25 years, they will often ask the same question 37,496.3 different ways to try to get you to say what they want to hear about this person that is not really a match to where they want to go. They're a match to what they need to learn now, but not a match to what they're trying to hammer them into. And so I see that with women and with men. When a man comes to me for a reading and he sits down, he will say, I met the woman I'm going to marry. I absolutely can't get her out of my mind. I'm bewitched by her. Tell me what I need to do to bring out my best self to draw her to me, because I know we're meant to be together. They don't flip-flop. They're direct. And the second a heterosexual male's heart chakra flies open, OMFG, watch out.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's fascinating
when they know they're committed.
Yeah.
They're there, yeah.
And do you think it's true that most men want to be with women because the way the women make them feel?
Yeah, because I think we complement each other. Yeah. And so, you know, in the movement that's happening now with, you know, the goddess circles and, you know, the feminine rising, there's all these women's circles, and I often, you know, hear men feel kind of left out. Yeah. Like, can't we join?
Well, of course. Hey,
I'm over here.
But like, you know, I know there are places there are some programs. I know there's one called Man Talks Man Talks, I think. But there's not as many places and outlets for men to really, you know, drop down and discover things and, you know,
be vulnerable
and share and feel stuff.
So speaking of feeling stuff, how much programming is tied into shame and guilt or inappropriate thoughts that started when we were under 10 years old that we carry for perpetuity until we shift it with healers like you.
How much?
Yeah. Every single person, right?
Yeah, everybody. Because even if we haven't had, even if we had an amazing upbringing, amazing, guardians and examples of healthy boundaries, healthy intimacy, and affection displayed, no abuse, no trauma. Even if we had that, we're bombarded in the society with sexual messages. On one hand, it's this over-sexualization in the media, breasts and music videos and
lip licking,
all of it. And then on the other hand, there's all this shame around it, and you can't talk about sex and all of this stuff. So it's like you're either too sexual or not sexual enough,
And then when I have learned from watching TV that the minute money, big money rolls into the equation, that the money amplifies whatever the shame is, and then they think they can throw enough money over top of it to outrun the feeling of shame.
Yeah.
And not allowing themselves to be vulnerable at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a train wreck.
Yeah.
And you can't put a Band-Aid on a train wreck. You got to go in and figure out what's wrong with that engine and what's wrong with the track.
Yeah, and go back to that child.
Yeah.
Whatever that child learned, and what your real beliefs are. The subconscious realm is like that realm under the ocean.
Right.
On the ocean floor. What's like down there, but we don't want to go dive in and look into that dark space. But going back to that root, the root beliefs of what we were really taught, what we decisions we made about certain things. Really how we feel about sex, how we feel about vulnerability, and examining them and going, okay, does this really serve me? And how can I shift that? And, working with the subconscious, because that's where we live our lives from.
Right.
We can say one thing, I want this, or, I'm going to do that. But if in our subconscious, which is actually running us, it's like, no, I'm not worthy of that, or I can't do that, or whatever that is, or that's wrong, bad, then it's just not going to happen. It's just not aligned.
And that actually leads us to self-appreciation. Don't you think it's more important for couples that, want to go into a session with you? Don't you think of being more of a self-appreciation solo first? How sometimes they go to therapist single instead of as couples, because sometimes when you get couples together, that ego and the bickering, but when you get them solo, they can kind of let the guard down a lot easier. Do you feel that works better when they come to you first as a solo person?
I agree. Whether it's like you're going to a therapist or a coach together, I think you have to do your individual work.
Right.
So maybe going separate and then together sometimes to kind of like bring that back together. But you have to do your own inner work.
Yeah.
Because in relationship, you're like a mirror, right? You're like two mirrors mirroring to each other.
Right.
And you think you're like pointing over there. It's like it's your stuff. But that's just a reflection of where you haven't accepted and loved and healed in spaces in you.
Yeah. No, I've been to therapy many times and over
Really?
the years. Yeah. You want me to talk about it?
Bless your heart.
I know. Do you feel sorry for me now, Eddie?
No, I'm just curious.
but
you didn't know that about him?
No, I knew it, but I was just like wondering what the delay was.
No, why isn't it kicking in? But I just know that going with partners that I've had throughout the years, that going together, it really didn't work because either the other person or myself was not quite ready.
Mirror on the wall.
Exactly.
But the other thing with like standard therapy, and I've gone to therapy and it's helpful for sure, is that just talking is only one level,
That's
and we
right.
can just like kind of even like outsmart ourselves and outsmart the ego outsmarts us.
Yeah,
and
and
get stuck
sometimes
in
the
just
therapist
talking.
too.
Yeah.
And that part, the talking piece, is the iceberg that we see above
Right.
the water, not all of the other
which
stuff.
is usually
Right.
bigger under the water.
Yeah, so it's really like with Tantra is coming back to the body, and so somatic body-based practices. And, you know, even the word sensuality, it's not just about sensuality, sexy, you know, all of that, but the senses. You know, what can you feel in your body, touch, taste, hear, smell, and because the body holds so much memory in our cells,
but we're not accessing it.
We're not accessing it, and so much wisdom. And so if we can come back and be present with our body and listen to our body, and that, you know, might sound like I don't know what that means to some people, but our body actually speaks to us, and our body doesn't lie. You know, where we have different tensions and we hold our stress and different things are actually related to different areas of where we're underdeveloped, and where we have blocks.
And we're the only country in the world, newsflash, what a shocker, the only country in the world who almost trains our children out of their connection to their senses. And I think it's Finland who was the last country in the world with the structured education system. Now they're the number one country in the world and have been for many, many years. And they went and spoke to the authorities, the principals and the parents and stuff. And the number one thing they said was, we don't give them homework. And we only go, there's a 3-day school week. And then when they're here, it's never longer than 4 hours at a time.
Oh my God, take me back.
Yeah.
I know, right?
And then they have a whole course of nothing but turning the kids loose in the woods, letting them climb trees, letting them pick up a caterpillar and asking the teacher what it is. And then they are trained to feel their senses, their inner being. We are the only country in the world that does not do that.
My parents used to do that too. They dropped me off and say, "See if you can get home." No, I was kidding.
Dropped you on your head and said what? That's what happened to
You'd be like 100 miles away. I'm like, oh,
Virgin.
You made it.
Yeah. Richard Branson, his dad did that.
really?
Dropped him off miles and miles and miles away, some cornfield somewhere, said, "Find your way home, chap boy."
If you don't, good luck.
No,
Was
he
it
owns
a
the world.
punishment, or was it like,
It was,
I want you to learn?
I want you to learn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he almost drowned in a river trying to save somebody else.
Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to take a quick break because when we come back, I would love to go over a little bit about the process of the sessions and how you begin and how it progresses, because it sounds pretty intense, but it sounds very angelic, really, in a lot of ways. But first, we got to take a break for our sponsors. We are going to be back here in just a little bit with Lillie Claire Love. She is a Tantra and self-appreciation coach. And you can go to lillieclairelove.com. I think the website's today. It might be a little issue, so just go to lillieclairelove.com/home. You can get there. But we will be back. This is Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Eddie Connor.
And we're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere.
United States Pharmacopoeia, USP, sets the standard for most food supplements and are used in over 95% of all vitamin and mineral supplements in the world. The problem is that these products have never appeared in any living tissue. They're created in laboratories and are not recognizable to the body's metabolism. Grown by Nature products are different because they use renatured ingredients, proprietary blends of essential vitamins and minerals, with cofactors of proteins, lipids, and complex carbohydrates. Over 50 studies have been conducted on renatured nutrients, and over 20 have been published in peer-reviewed journals proclaiming their superiority. As a result, Grown by Nature vitamins and supplements are now recognized as simply the best available. Call 877-817-9829. That's 877-817-9829 and order your Grown by Nature products today. We are what we eat, and since we are of nature, we should eat foods in their natural form. Only Grown by Nature offers a full line of renatured nutrients. Call 877-817-9829. That's 877-817-9829, because not all products are grown by nature, but they should be.
Do you suffer from anxiety, from depression, maybe even chronic pain? Well, listen up. Truth Be Told is going to tell you about a breakthrough program built on over 100 years of therapies used in America's returning veterans to help you successfully overcome PTSD, anxiety attacks, pain, and depression. The secret proven in study after study. Music therapy. The effects of music are nothing short of amazing. From strokes to PTSD, music has been shown to improve the quality of life. Now, one of the latest music therapy programs being used in America's veteran hospitals can be yours to experience for free at home and to help your own anxiety attacks, pain, and depression. Or just relax after a hard day. It's called Whole Tones. It takes music therapy to a new level. This revolutionary program makes use of specifically designed frequencies that have been shown to stimulate your body's natural healing power down to a cellular level. If it works for battle-scarred vets, can it work for you? Well, experience it for yourself for free at sweetwholetones.com. Like Tony Sweet, that's SWEET. Go to sweetwholetones.com. Now enjoy the show. Do you suffer from anxiety, from depression?
Circular-shaped, unidentified objects have been reported.
The unidentified object moves slowly down the Pacific coast and disappears.
All right, we're back. This is Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Eddie Connor.
And as you saw, contact in the desert.
We have a speech coach, too.
I need one. Contact in the Desert is June 3rd through the 6th, but Eddie and I will be there June 3rd through the 5th, and we hope you guys go to truthbetoldwebtv.com and enter to win tickets to see us. No. Not to see us, but
there's
George
actually
Norrie,
really
David
great
Wilcox, Linda Moulton Howe, Eric Von Daniken, all those bigwigs from Ancient Aliens and the UFO
from the
field.
History Channel.
Oh, History Channel. Yeah, they're all there, and we're going to be interviewing, and we're going to be having a good time and watching some of these amazing people speak. So go to truthbetoldwebtv.com and enter to win tickets to come and hang out with Eddie and I.
And it's for the whole event?
It's for the whole event. And those tickets aren't cheap, so go get them.
We must not be the ones paying for those tickets.
No, we're not. All right, Eddie, introduce our guest again.
We're here with Lillie Claire Love of LillieClaireLove.com/home just for today. And she is a Tantra coach and a self-appreciation coach and a life coach and a yoga teacher. Is that right? And effervescent, angelic being
Gorgeous.
Of light on the earth plane, grounded. What'd I say? Grounded into the earth, but simultaneously. You've really got this beautiful balance of pulling the heaven through the earth. It took me a long time to figure this out because I'm so smart. The heart chakra is not of the heavens or the earth, but it is the heart chakra that must be open in order to pull the heaven and earth self together in one, the feminine into the container, as it were, right?
Exactly.
And that took me a minute, 55 years worth of minutes, to be honest.
You're 55? I didn't know. I did, but I love telling him. Well, my question is, before we went to break, I want to know the process. Because, this sounds amazing.
And feels amazing.
But how does one start? Like, give us the 101 version, and then we'll move forward.
So when Tony signs up for this women's workshop tomorrow, what's going to happen?
I'll do it.
You want me to talk about the workshop or just like working
Well, talk
with
about
me?
the workshop, and then then we'll go into how to work with you and start.
Oh, Awakening Shakti.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And as I was actually pulling into the lot to come meet you guys, the security guard at the front saw it. He's like, can I ask you one more question? What is a Shakti?
Wow, he got it right. Huh?
And I was like, it's like the feminine part of God. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no,
I'm sorry.
I was like, you got it too.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
That is
hilarious.
hysterical.
Yeah.
So Shakti is the feminine part of God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shakti is the creative feminine power of the universe.
And this is called Awakening Shakti Workshop. And it's going to be tomorrow, Saturday, April the 30th, at Creative Chakra Spa.
Marina Del Rey.
Oh, I love this. From
nice.
2 to 6:30. Are you ready to awaken Shakti in your life?
I am.
I think you are. So tell us a little bit about it.
Cool. So it's gonna be it's a packed workshop to basically awaken, remove blocks, awaken women to this sensual energy inside of them. To remove blocks. So we have powerful breath work. We'll be going through the chakras and kind of getting into chakra science, how our body actually speaks to us, and we can learn and clear the blocks.
That's a show.
And then we'll be doing some sensual yoga. So it's like getting into your hips and kind of activating the Shakti, which lives in our pelvic floor.
Okay.
For men and for women. And so getting a little hot and sweaty and letting go. And then we're going to be doing self-breast massage. So I'm going to be doing a breast massage demo on a wonderful woman. And then everybody will breast massage. And breast massage is not only very powerful and healing for the physical body. You know, if we look at where there's cancer appearing, breasts, ovaries, for men, prostate. So it's like, why are these diseases, diseases appearing in these parts of the body? Because we have shame around it. We have so much judgment, and we neglect those areas. Unless like we're just diving in, someone's just diving into those areas.
And a minute later, they're like, got a towel?
Yeah. So the breast massage also, it's the heart center. So you're awakening the heart through this massage.
I like how
your face is red.
I like how she says massage.
Massage. Massage.
There we go.
No, yours is way better.
Yeah. You stick with yours.
Yeah, and the breasts, the heart area is where women we nurture through our breasts as well. And
continue the co-creation of the life that you created.
Exactly.
We're just the riverbanks, guys.
So it's so healing.
Yeah.
When I first learned the breast massage, probably like the first 5 times, I was just crying when I was doing it. I was releasing a lot.
I was going to say, was it a sadness or more of a happy release?
It started off
not like a happy ending, but like a happy release.
It started off, I was releasing a lot of grief. I lost my mom 5 years ago, and so a lot of that was coming up, and just, I think, old grief. And then, it started to move into more pleasure and more happy tears.
And divine.
Relief, divine.
So you built up. And so just like what you're talking about with the breast massage.
You tried.
And then you have to make that aspect of your life, your consciousness, your beingness, a habit. Just like we have a habit of going and getting coffee every day when we would rather be having juice. We have to get in the habit of doing the self-love piece so that we can work our way up to that. Oh my God, I have a question as a result of that. I would assume that when you're working with your clients that you don't really ever want anybody to go from this level to quantum leap, ecstatic, energetic, multiple orgasmic combustion point frequency that quick, because they're going to that's a big jump.
That's a big jump, and then that's kind of a big come down
as
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really is working slowly, and that's why, in the workshop, the self-breast massage is really at your own pace, and, you can do it at whatever level you feel comfortable.
So, and this is a women's workshop, so we want to make that very clear. So there's not 37 men showing up, banging on the glass, going, "Hey,
breast massage.
Where's Lillie?
I heard there's a breast massage
I'll
today."
volunteer." Men, you give us all a bad name.
So we do have one man showing up towards the end of the workshop, and I will be giving a demo lingam massage. And lingam is a Sanskrit word for penis.
Oh,
Okay.
So
how long did it take him to volunteer?
In front of a room full of highly evolved
yeah,
women.
there was a long list of applications. But he's a friend. He's a friend, and the purpose of it is really to put the power back into women's hands, because I have so many women who want to have a deeper sensual, a deeper intimate, lovemaking, higher spiritual kind of connection in their sex life with their partner. But they don't know how to get him to want to have that, or him to know, so it's really teaching women how to move sexual energy. and how they can facilitate that with their partner.
Love that.
Well, let's try it
instead of
on Eddie
just
right now. Come on.
I wouldn't wish that on a snake.
And then we'll end the workshop at sunset on the beach with
that sounds
a
great.
beautiful circle, and it'll be really beautiful.
So I think that's brilliant to demonstrate that part. Now, what'd you call it? Lingam?
Lingam.
Lingam. Is because it does put the power back in the women's hands, as you say. But what's a way to get your husband or your boyfriend's attention? Hey. And then seduce them in that really high, wonderful, conscious way to pull them into wanting to have more of the same so that their heart opens. And then there's that double connection. Then they can have their 23-hour climax.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what man is going to say no to can I give you a lingam massage? And they might be like, I don't know, like a hand job, a spiritual hand job.
So
boy, our numbers just jumped. No, I was kidding.
Can I say that?
You can totally say that. So what is, and I'm not being silly, what is at the root of that? Meaning, what is, we all know what a hand job is and that sort of thing, but what is at the root of, what is the core essence piece connected to the men's massage?
The core essence piece. I mean, what is the core purpose?
Yes. I know it's to connect, help the woman connect and put the power back in her hands, but for what's the core essence part of it?
For him?
Yeah.
For him, it's really about awakening his Shakti, awakening to his creative power, to his sensuality, and moving that up again through the body and through his life, so that he, being connected to the ground, but also to the more kind of heavenly realms, if you will. But what that really does in kind of practical terms is it opens up our whole life experience, that we can be more vulnerable. He can be more authentic and expressive and connected to his emotions, connected to his partner.
Love that.
And also and I forgot what I was going to say.
No.
But yeah.
But that's the core essence, to get him, to help him wake up. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat.
It's okay.
And bad time to say that. Is my face red now? I can feel my face burning. Isn't that funny?
It's okay.
So it's to help them wake up and get connected to. Now, I'm totally serious when I ask this question. I would think with that kind of high frequency, electric, sensual, heart wide, ass open, wonderful energy, that's going to be, now where's this again?
Marina Del Rey.
And down in Marina Del Rey somewhere tomorrow between 6 and 6:30, there's going to be a lot of activity, literally, invisibly speaking, oozing through the city. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be people walking along going, oh, I think I'm going to buy.
They won't know what hit them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this. It's about the non-physical.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the soul. Yeah. It's about the feeling within the container, male or female, and waking all of that up. I think the sexiest people alive, I can't even look at you.
Oh, thank you.
The sexiest people alive, for real. Now, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to say nothing ugly about Mick Jagger, because I'm a spiritually evolved person. But somebody said to me years ago, how is it that someone like Mick Jagger in his 60s, in their opinion, highly unattractive, how is it that he can virtually get any woman he wants? And I'm like, are you serious? That's even a question? When he's doing in his container what he's born to do, especially when he's doing it live, his chakras, his energy, his frequency, his soul, his electricity is lined up. Mm-hmm. And that is what makes a human the sexiest on the planet, when they're all lined up. And what you're helping and empowering people to do is to stay lined up, whether they're the only person in the room or whether they're in a room with other people.
Yeah. Exactly. I gave a talk the other night about how to get your partner, your lover, love interest to want to have more sex with you. but literally, for sex, for desire, we need this attraction, we need polarities. So embodying, and the masculine is connected to that self-confidence, that self-worth, the inner warrior, just like knowing what your purpose is and going for it, executing it in the world. And so that, like, when a man is doing that, like, that's powerful.
Yeah, because that's heaven and earth and the heart chakra wrapped up into one, connected to another person's heaven and earth chakra wrapped up in one. It's like boom, 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 ding, 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 ding.
Well, we have. Go ahead. No, I was going to say we have about 3 minutes left. This time has gone so fast.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, oh my God. So, for the people out there listening in or listening to our podcast or watching on YouTube, how can people start? How can people get more involved in finding out more, not just about you, but just about this process of Tantra?
Well, start tuning into your breath. Start, even if it's as simple as meditation. But breath is such a huge part of Tantra because that awakens us, that brings more oxygen into the body, the brain. It literally wakes us up.
Shines a spotlight down in the depths of the ocean in a way where we're not as scared.
Yeah. But definitely, reach out to me if you have any questions. Right. It's lillieclairelove.com. Just for today, lillieclairelove.com/home. I'm available to answer any questions. But, tuning into your breath, your senses, taking time to stop and literally smell the roses, eye gazing with your partner, with friends, really
connecting,
being here. Yeah, and allowing yourself to start to just melt any of those blocks and melt any shame, any guilt.
God, that would be a great workshop. It's sort of something like Shakti, the shame away.
That's great.
Yeah.
He's great at this, making those little sayings up.
I will just quickly mention what I was going to say about the other benefits for men is they can have multiple orgasms like a woman. They can have orgasms without ejaculation, which actually cultivates their chi energy, their life creative energy, so that they are more powerful. They're not giving that kind of losing that power with the release, but they can retain it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try that.
Which is a building the heart chakra thing, I would assume,
and
right?
Messy
all
too.
of it, yeah. This is the balance point, right? Where you're talking about the heaven and earth, yeah.
Will you come back and do a whole show just on the chakras?
Sure.
With this subject, just the chakras alone.
I'd love to.
And what each chakra is, and we'll show the chakras on the screen.
And we need to spend more time with you, too.
Yeah.
I know, it's fun.
Yeah.
I know.
And,
way too fast.
And I'm just going to say one psychic prediction. I'm going to say it in 10 seconds. There's TV all around you, sister, girlfriend, diva, goddess of all that is angelic and connected to the Shakti energy of the divine. There is. It's there. So keep your eyes and ears open. Or you might be pitching a show. I don't know.
Thank you, because I want this work to reach everyone.
It's going to. Oh, I just got goosebumps.
I'm
going to do a breast massage. We'll be right back.
I ain't going to touch him.
I didn't ask you to touch him.
I know. I saw that.
I'm a powerful woman, child.
You eye-gazed me. I saw you. This is Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. We have another guest coming in at 5 o'clock. But if you missed this show, you need to check it out on YouTube. It's going to be up on YouTube probably today or tomorrow. Our podcast is up on iTunes, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. And please, if you want to get a hold of our beautiful guest, Lillie Claire Love, just go to lillieclairelove.com.
And by the way, that's spelled Lillie, ClaireLove.com.
Yes, that is. And we are out of here. But thank you guys so much. Lillie, thank you so much for being here. And stick around for more of Truth Be Told. This is Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Eddie Connor.
We're out. Talk to you later.